Welcome to this restorative practice. Here in my neighborhood, there's this beautiful field. I filmed a class the other day that was more on an intermediate level. And then yesterday I did a big old long bike ride and just feel like I need a restorative practice. And I thought maybe some of my people, my friends, need a restorative practice as well today. Let's do it in the field. So here you go. Restorative practices are the nice stretches that we do at the end of class. That's how I like to explain what a restorative class is. It's not as much the balance work, it's not as much the strength work, but it's the nice stretches that kind of lubricate your joints and just get you ready to move throughout your day. Love them. I love a restorative practice. All right, so I've got a rolled up blanket here. We will use it just twice during this class. And I have blocks handy and a strap. I just like to have these things handy in case. A lot of times I don't need them, but then every once in a while I need it, and it's a pain to have to stop what I'm doing and get off the mat and go grab it. So I want you just to have a safe, good practice, feel good. A lot of times props really help in doing that. Let's begin. We'll start in this seated position now. If this is uncomfortable, if you've done any of my other classes, I always feel like I cue this. You can grab that rolled up blanket under you or a block, and you can see that it just kind of lifts your hips up a little bit so that there isn't so much flexion here in the hip joint and your knees are able to drop down just a little bit. I'd really recommend this if your knees are sitting higher than your hips when you get into this easy pose. Other things that might hurt or bother you are the outside edges of your feet or your knees. If you've had a knee surgery or any injury that you're working through there, it's totally fine when we cue easy pose to just bring one leg out, all right? So begin in a comfortable seated position. I'm recommending easy pose, and we'll get started here. Hands to your heart, belly lifted in and up, and we'll just notice and observe a few breath cycles. Nice to have the breath link us to the present moment. When we're thinking about the breath, that is where our mind is, right here. Let's take a couple breaths together. Let's begin. We'll inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your breath going. As you inhale, draw your right arm out to the right, lift your left arm up and over. Lengthen it first and then gently reach over. Head and neck in a neutral position, or you might consider looking up. I'm going to go neutral today. Take another breath. And inhale, come to the second side, left arm down, right arm lengthens first, and then reaches over toward the left. And as we're doing that, we want to be aware of our sit bones. If you're really lifted there, just relax out of that stretch a little bit, both sit bones on the mat. Good, one more breath. And exhale, slowly release that. Little neck stretch here. Bring your arms behind you, interlace your fingers, and draw that bound fist over to the right side of your body. Gently drop right ear down to the right. As you're doing that, press the left shoulder down just a little bit. Just micro movements in yoga. So when we say a little bit, we really mean like a millimeter or a centimeter. All right, come on back up. Those bound fists over to the left. Lengthen up first, and then left ear reaches down toward left shoulder. And press that right shoulder down. So important to take care of our neck. This is my favorite neck stretch. Gently release that, and we'll come into a couple seated cat-cows. So if your legs are tired of this exact position, you're welcome to switch the cross or bring a leg out. From here, we'll just inhale, lengthen your spine, kind of draw your chest forward, and exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin. Inhale, pull your heart through, shoulder blades together. The idea is to feel a little bit of activation through that spine and a gentle stretch in the front side of your body. Exhale, round, tuck. Feel the stretch along the back side of the body. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Great job. Coming out to the side, we'll place our hands at the top of our mat here and step back into a downward facing dog. Okay, shoulders over wrists here, step back, find plank, and then lift into your down dog, pedal feet out. Not many standing poses today, or even poses like down dog on our feet. Will mostly be seated or on our back. So just enjoy these few poses where we are. And notice the inversion here, the blood flowing to your head, your vital organs. I love to pedal feet out. Sometimes I love to just press heart toward my feet. Finding that stretch between the arms. Good. Take another breath here. And then from here we'll walk to the middle of the mat. So you can just take a step to the middle, toes angling out, heels in. And we'll step other foot in, finding a low Malasana squat. Now this might be a spot where you'd want to grab a block or two. Coming into Malasana, a tricky pose for a lot of people. Tight ankles, tight Achilles, tight hips. So if you're up here, that's okay. We're just working our way down with our hips. And we'll take a couple of these flossing movements where we're just kind of coming up, straightening the legs, and down. So again, using blocks, I just like to demo some options for you if this one isn't working for you. So you might be here with a block behind you and in front of you. Try your best to keep heels down, but if those heels want to lift, that's okay. We're just working towards bringing them down. Take a couple more lifts. Inhale, exhale, down. One more. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips down. And then we'll walk back out into our down dog. So your hands walk to the top of the mat, feet step back, down dog, and then Malasana, low squat. 2 more times, down dog, Malasana squat, keep your breath present, down dog, we can inhale here, and then exhale to your Malasana squat, and we'll just hold this now for a couple breaths. Longer holds improve your flexibility, but if you're gripping, the flexibility the aspect won't kick in. So you need to be able to relax in the pose, find peace in the pose first, and then that flexibility will come. So if we're fighting it up here, go up a little higher to where you can find peace in the pose. Last breath here. Good job. We'll come to a seated position from here. I'm able to just rock back. Some people might need to come knees and then come on back. Seated position, we'll just find a forward fold here. Okay, bumpy ground for me, so you might see me doing a little more shifting than normal. All right, toes pointed up, gentle lift in your knees, belly in, inhale, arms up, and exhale, gently lean forward. I find myself saying gently so much in these restorative classes, so I'll try not to cue it as much if you try to remember it. We just want to feel super good after we're done today. Take a couple more breaths here. You might grab a strap too. Again, I'm just liking to present you with options in these classes. So if you're clear up here in your forward fold, not a problem. Just grab your strap, leaning into it from here. Oop. Okay, we'll take 2 more breaths in your forward fold. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, let's release that pose, give it a little shake, and then bring your right knee into your chest. Hug it in nice and tight. That heel as close to your glutes as you can. Little forward fold right from here. So this knee stays up, arms lift up, and exhale, forward fold from here. Greatly changing the pose into a lower back stretch for me. It's a little bit different for everybody. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Take one more breath here. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose, but keep your knee right here. Mine's starting to flop out to the side if yours is doing the same. Use your core to hug it in nice and tight. Right arm back behind you. Inhale, left arm lifts. And exhale, left elbow to the outside of right knee. Inhale, again, lengthening the spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. One more breath here. And inhale, gaze forward. Coming back to the forward fold now for a couple breaths. Inhale, arms up, grab your strap if you need to. And exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale, inhale, exhale. One more breath here. Inhale, look up. Exhale, release the pose, and left knee comes to a bend. Plant that left foot, hug it in nice and tight, and we'll bring left hand back around behind us. Inhale, right arm lifts, and exhale. Right elbow to the outside of left knee, and now I get this fabulous view behind me. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this place. Inhale, that chest lifts. Exhale, turn your chest toward that back again. Inhale, exhale, twist. One more time, inhale. Now lift your belly in a little bit. Exhale, twist. And we'll slowly release, gazing in front of you. Release that left leg down. One more seated forward fold. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Maybe you can notice micro improvements with each of these forward folds. One more breath. Great job. Coming into a variation of pigeon that I really like when we have extra padding. If you are only on a wood floor and a thin mat, you'll want to draw your blanket in or something around you to give a little extra padding. But I'm padded up here with a thick mat and a ground. So what I'm doing is bringing left shin parallel to the top of my mat edge. Bringing right leg back behind me, and then we're trying to find kind of like a 90-90 here. So left knee is in a bend of 90 degrees, and then that right leg is also coming back behind you, bent in a 90 degree. Okay, so from here, what we're working on doing is drawing that right hip bone down just a little bit, lengthening chest up, leaning forward, and then hopefully finding the outer glute, that outer left glute. Okay, so I'm not feeling it a ton here. What I'm going to do, the adjustment I'm going to make, is just bringing that foot in a little bit. We're still shin parallel to the mat edge, foot flexed. What we don't want to do is tuck that foot under and be clear on your shin bone. That takes the stretch out of the outside hip. Okay, so make any adjustments that you need to, and then we'll hold here for 5 or 6 breaths. So I'm able to come to elbows if that's not accessible to you. Grab a block or two in and just hold this 90-90, get the outside of that hip. Okay, a couple more breaths here. We will be coming into full pigeon next. So if you're like, oh, I'd really rather take full pigeon, give this a try for a couple breaths. And then we'll come into that in just a moment. Okay, one more breath here, deepest point of the pose. And slowly press up. Now see if we're able to kind of swivel your legs around to the other side, maybe without using your hands, just as a little test. If you need to put hands down, that's okay. But if we're able to swivel around, that's a good hip mobility test, okay? And again, if you need to bring hands down, not a problem. Center yourself up, right shin now parallel to the top of mat edge, and then that left leg is coming out. So I'm just repositioning myself. I hope you can see things okay enough to understand. All right, 90-90. Left hip bone to left knee, and then ankle behind you. Inhale, lift and lengthen the chest, and exhale, fold in. Kind of trying to draw that left hip bone down a little bit, draw chest forward. And just kind of noticing the difference in right side to left side. Finding your breath, finding peace in the pose. I was noticing my left knee kind of gripping in. Just see if you can notice something that's gripping and just relax it here for this last breath or so. Great job. We'll slowly come out of this, coming back to the left side. So maybe canning I've heard, or swiveling around, back into pigeon. All right, so left shin parallel to top of mat edge. Now this time I'm placing hands in front of that shin, bringing right leg back behind me, okay? And seeing if this is an option. Full pigeon, settling down, that right thigh pressing in, right top of the foot, that whole leg is coming out straight back behind you. If you get here and you're like, oh, I really liked that 90-90 better, take that again. If this is in your practice, let's go ahead and lengthen the spine out. Inhale and exhale, fold. And again, just noticing your body, noticing where you feel this. See if you can draw that right hip bone down a little bit more. And we'll take 2 or 3 breaths here. Okay, last breath. Press into your hands, lift up, and we'll come through down dog to try this second side. So hands are planted shoulder distance apart. Let's tuck our right toes, lift off that knee, lift off the hips, and slide back into down dog. Pedal the feet out, lift the hips. This is our last inversion of class today. So again, just notice the benefits of inverting your body. All the blood coming to the vital organs, all that oxygenated blood as we've been stretching coming to those vital organs. Look up at your hands. We'll draw the right knee toward the right wrist, right toes toward the left wrist, and settle on down. Now, if you ever need to, come to your knees, come to your hip, situate it there. That's fine as well. Okay, settling on back. That left leg is straight back behind you, left top of the foot, top of the left foot down. Inhale, lengthen up, and exhale, fold. Coming back to that 90-90 if you'd prefer, by just taking a bend in that left knee. Great job. Couple more breaths here. Last breath or so, see if you can find any more mobility in the pose. And then press your hands in, lift your chest up, coming to a wide straddle here. So we'll just kind of lean to that right hip, open all the way up, so left leg out. Reposition yourself so that you're using the long side of your mat. Okay, inhale, lengthen up, and exhale, just begin to fold forward. Now, a lot of times I notice people in my class and they're like, this is it for me. Totally fine, not a problem. Just hold this position here, and again, theme for the class today, I guess, find peace in the pose. Just close your eyes, take a couple of breaths. If you're able to fold deeper, go ahead and fold deeper. Not straining anything, just working toward the edge in our practice is where we want to be, where you're like I can hold that for a few breaths, but I don't really want to hold that for 10 or 20 breaths, okay? So just find that nice stretch spot, able to breathe, able to relax. And demo some blocks too. Resting your head is nice here. Okay. Got another breath here. This is our last seated pose. And we'll be in some nice reclining poses. Set the block to the side. Let's take a brief child's pose. Just bringing your knees together, settling your hips back onto your heels, stretching your arms out in front of you. Okay, from child's pose, making our way to puppy pose. So just lifting those hips up, maybe walking your knees back a little bit so that you have space for your arms here. And then walking arms out, hips stay lifted here, and just bring head or maybe head chest down toward the mat. Okay, another breath here. Okay, making our way to a reclining position. You're welcome just to kind of roll over, find your way onto your back. Okay, hug those knees in. Okay, we've taken a couple of pigeons today. We'll take also a reclining pigeon. So just sliding that right shin above left knee. Then we'll hug that left knee in. You might use that right elbow to keep that hip open a little bit more. You might grab onto the shin, hugging the knee in a little bit more. Just take a couple breaths here. Great job. One more breath. Awesome. Let's slowly release that pose. Come to second side. Left shin just above right knee. Hug that right knee in. Reach through the gap for behind the thigh or on the shin. Give it a gentle squeeze. 5 or 6 breaths here. Big long inhales. Nice slow exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. All right, let's slowly release. Taking a twist now. Let's keep those knees right in. Hug the right knee in, straighten the left leg out. Hug it in nice and tight. Maybe angle it off your ribs more over toward your armpit area. And just give a good squeeze. This is a pose in and of itself that has a lot of benefits. And then we'll change it into a twist, just guiding that right knee with your left hand over to the left. Lengthen your right arm out and look over to the right. Okay, one more breath here. Making your way back onto your back, hugging both knees into the chest. And then we'll just keep hold of that left knee as you lengthen your right leg out. And hug it a little more off your ribs. Hugging it in a little tighter. Notice where you feel that stretch. For me, it goes right to lower back. So I feel that's beneficial. Take another breath. And then we'll begin guiding that left knee over to the right. Just guiding it down as far as it will go, lengthening left arm out. Now you can see I hover here with knee and arm a little tight. So when I have props handy, I just grab them in, block under the knee, maybe blanket under the arm. And then I'm able to relax, even with the idea that there is something there to rest on, able to relax a little bit more. Okay, you have a couple more breaths here. and slowly making your way onto your back. We'll take a reclining butterfly here. This is one that I notice is hard as well. So if binding around your feet isn't an option, don't stress about it. Put the soles of your feet together and then just grab outside your knees, not right on your knees, and use your forearms to kind of open those hips up a little more, and then just inch your way down to those feet. Straining and grabbing and, forcing it, not the best move here. Okay, so if we're not quite there, it's okay to be right here with hands around ankles or shins and just using those forearms to open those hips up. That's what we're working here, as a hip opener. Okay, full pose, soles of the feet together, feet pulling down in toward chest. Good, take another breath. All right, let's begin to release this. We'll take goddess pose first. Soles of the feet will stay together and just release them down to your mat. Now again, if you don't like these knees hovering in space, you can grab your blocks in and place them under your knees. We'd like a hip opening component here, but again, if that's too much for you, blocks can be a great support. Okay. Hands can rest on your belly or down by your sides. Great job. Welcome to stay here longer. If you're ready to start to head into Savasana, we'll set blocks to the side, and I'm bringing this rolled blanket just under my knees. And situating so that it's supportive under my knees so that lower back drops down. Legs are out wide, like toward the outer edges of your mat, arms down by your side, then lift your shoulders up, place them down again, causing your heart to be nice and open here. Palms up, you're in more of a receiving mode, they say. Palms down, you're in more of a grounding mode. So just kind of pick what you would prefer there with your hands. Usually I always like up. And then just begin taking a few nice long breaths in through your nose, out through your nose. And just let go of any breath control that might be there. Just relaxed breath as possible. Relax your body as much as possible, and we'll just stay here for 5 or 6 breaths. Okay, if you're able to stay longer, I recommend staying longer if possible. If you're ready to come out, let's lengthen arms up above your head, point your toes, big long stretch. And then roll to your side in the fetal position for a couple breaths here. Pressing on up into a seated position. You might have that blanket handy to place under your hips, or sit comfortably in easy pose. Let's take one final closing breath here together. And I just thank you so much for joining me in this practice today. I hope that you enjoyed the beautiful scenery, and the wonderful benefits of yoga are headed your way. Let's begin our final closing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Namaste.